Hello, this video will cover how to register for the 25th Annual Greater NYC Race for the Cure. The process would be the same whether we were signing up as an individual, joining a pre-existing team, or starting our own team. There will be minor differences in the questions that were asked along the way. In any case, the first thing we do is we go to the race website and we click on the register button down here in the lower left-hand corner, or it's actually the middle of that page. That brings us to the registration options, and you can see we could register as an individual, join a team. In this particular case, we're going to click on the Start or Form a Team. Once we choose one of those options, if we're not yet logged in, we're presented with the returning user login. This is for people who have a pre-existing relationship with us. You're already receiving our emails. You've given a donation in the past or joined a past event. You would have a record with us. If you didn't know what your username was, you can click on the email me my login information down here, and that would begin the process of username and password recovery. In this particular case, we're going to register Fred Flintstone, who is a pre-existing user and whose username and password I do know. I put in those. Once we're logged in, since we're forming a team, the first thing we have to do is give the team details. In this particular case, we're going to call it the Yabba Dabba Doo. Is going to be the team name. The $1,000 goal, we're actually going to set that. This team's going to have a goal of $1,500. And for the friends and family, that's going to remain the team type. If you were joining the team and were affiliated with one of our corporate partners or some hospitals or educational institutions, then you would have options here and you would change this. If team type is something you're completely unaware of, then I would just leave it at the friends and family. We click on the next step. Now we're getting into the details of my personal registration itself. I'm going to register as a standard registration. I'm an adult. Everything's pretty much normal there. No child registration, no Sleep for the Cure. I'm just signing up regular participant in the race. So that's a standard registration. I'm not entering a discount code. My goal should not be the team goal, so I'm actually going to take that down a little bit. The system defaults that $1,000 when you come from the team page. In most cases, a team captain is planning to recruit others to help them reach the team goal. So I set my personal goal to $250, and it's just a goal. It's not an obligation to raise that much money. There are some other registration options here. You can get some race day bling by checking the box for our 2-2 special. You can personalize your bib, and you can also avoid the lines, come on down to our office or avoid coming down to our office, and we will mail you your race day materials. I'm not going to choose any of those, but I am going to give an additional gift. I want to get my meter started. I want the meter to start going up right away. There's some pre-selected amounts here. I'm going to go with the 36, and I'm going to display the amount. That's fine. What this does is the registration fee itself covers the costs of putting on the race and the costs associated with your participation type. The gifts are the things that actually go towards the mission and fighting breast cancer. I click on next step. Now I'm presented with some of my personal details. This is me. I'm going to give it a quick once over. Everything looks right. All of this information is accurate from the last time that I signed up, so I don't need to update anything. If I had moved or my phone number had updated, this would be the screen to do that. There are a couple more questions that I have to answer. Would I like to be recognized as a, and here are the options. None of those apply to me. T-shirt size, I'm Fred Flintstone. I need a little extra large there. We also have a magazine subscription option. I am not interested in that. I'm going to choose no thanks. If I was, I could click on that link to get a few more details. I'm going to go to the next step. This is the standard waiver. In order to compete in the race or to be a member and participate in the race, you do have to agree with the terms and conditions. I would suggest that you do read that over and make sure that you do in fact agree with those. I check the box, click on the next step. This is a review. In this particular step, I have I get to an option to look over everything, make sure that it's all right. Everything looks as I have set it up. We have my race registration, my total donation. That brings a participant total to $81. Now I do actually want to go ahead and register my wife as well, so rather than completing my registration, I'm going to click on the Register Additional Participant. When I do that, I get a streamlined version. This is the standard registration, and I'm actually going to do a child registration just so you can see that. So I check the child registration. That now becomes highlighted. I could enter a discount code here, don't have one. The goal, I'm going to have Pebbles, instead of raising $250, we'll just go with, say, $100 for her. $100 is the minimum that the system will accept. And again, it's just a goal. I do have the option to mail the packet there as well. Not necessary. Here we can go ahead and put in the information. Pebbles and Flintstone. And we'll go ahead and say July 4th. As a child, so we're going to go ahead and say, I don't know, let's go with 2003. I have the option here of putting in a email. I do suggest that you put in an actual email for all individuals that you're registering. That is how they'll receive, that is where they will receive their race information, such as notifications of someone donating to their page, things like that. It's also how they'll retrieve their password. If you're registering for them, they most likely will need to retrieve the password themselves in order to log in. So I do highly recommend putting in an email for all participants that you register. Now this is a Kids for the Cure t-shirt. We're going to go with small. I'm going to click next step. We get the waiver here, the waiver for Pebbles. We go ahead and agree to those terms and conditions, same waiver in this particular case. And now we're brought back to the registration summary. We can read over these details here. This is Fred's registration, same $81 it was before. This is Pebbles registration, $30, nothing additional in there. That brings the total right here to $111. And that's it. That's all I'm going to register right now. I click the complete registration button. That brings us to the payment page. And it kind of pre-populates some of the billing information. If I was using my wife's card, for instance, I would go ahead and change this information to match the information on the credit card itself, rather than my personal information. And with that, I am going to pause this video and rejoin it once I have finished the payment. Okay, I have completed the input of the information. I went ahead and restarted this. At the bottom of that same page where we just left off is the process payment. Once I click that, that brings us to the receipt page. And in here you can see there's a thank you. There's a few things in here that you want to take a look at. I can go directly to the race center itself, and I can also click on this in order to get tied in with our Fundraise with Facebook application. At the very bottom of the page there is a summary of the activity that's happened. You can print this out as your receipt, and you can see it has all your information in there. All of these Access Your Participant Center buttons, as well as the Go to Your Race Center, those are all the same, essentially go to the same place, which is where you can go ahead and view your race center. I'm going to click Go to Race Center. This brings me to the race center, where I'm able to do things like configure my race page, change my personal page URL, and things of that nature. We'll cover those in a second video. Thank you and have a good day.